Alrighty, good evening everybody. Welcome to the BNR Racing Network as we are live here for the season finale of the AMS Cup Series. One of the four drivers will become champion here tonight. The only thing that I know is Brandon Moore is 5 points behind Jason Taylor. So I am going to go over a little bit of the race information here. So as we see, we are in Avondale. Current track length is a mile. The current track temperature is 74 degrees. 72%, 72 degrees out, 34% humidity, clear skies with an 8-mile-per-hour wind. These AMS Cup drivers do run a fixed setup. They do get 70% fuel and 1 fast repair and 4 sets of tires. So as you see here, as we watch these drivers go around the track for qualifying, for that season finale here. Alright, hopefully I set that up right. Perfect. But they're in their season finale, so it's going to be a good one. Where are we at here? Where are we at? No. Okay. Here and go like this. Close out of that. But it's going to be a tight one. Like I said, the only thing I know, 5 points separate Brandon Moore and Taylor. So that's all I know. So those are going to be the two that I keep an eye on throughout the night, on where they finish and who has the better long-lasting car towards the end of the race, as we saw this year in the actual real race. Hopefully the pace car does not pull down in the pit road and wipe out the barrels there. So, and hopefully we won't see Joey Logano win, because I quite frankly believe that he didn't deserve it. So he had that handed over to him, but that's just my thoughts. But NASCAR is over, and here we are over here calling the last shindig. Not too sure what their plans are looking in the future, so they have a lot of talking to do. But I've enjoyed my time over here. I love these guys. These guys are great. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. But if you ever want to join these guys, it's a great league. I want to say the owner is probably Avery McDonald. He's in charge of a lot of things, so if you ever want to look them up, they do have a website too as well. I will post that in the link here, so you can look at everything. Alright, well, that ain't gonna work. But anyway, I'll go over the starting grid here. So P1 would be Adam
Bruh,
Barton,
I've been
P2
muted.
would be Michael Carter, P3 would be Jason
How
Taylor,
long have I been muted?
so since you got in here. P4 would be Will
Oh
Rogers,
my
P5
goodness.
would be Keenan Miller, P6 would be Dwayne Furtick, P7 would be
Do you
Michael
actually...
Cochran, P8 would be Aaron Spear, P9 would be Greg Elliott, P10 will be Mr. Farmer. Hopefully he can get a dub at the season every track. But P11 will be Sean O'Brien. P12 will be Antonio Bonani. P13 will be Nathan Lyon. P14 will be Brandon Moore. P15 will be Chris Hostrander. P16 will be Zach Deuscher. And then P17 will be Avery McDonald.
You know, I thought everything was okay. I thought you were hearing me and everything, because whenever I was speaking, you were actually replying to what I was saying. So I'm like, oh, okay, everything's good. He can hear me. I didn't even check to think until, I'm like, okay, Brian, looks like we're gridding up. Pace car is out there. Let me get to the starting grid. And then I'm like, oh, he can't hear me. So let me fix that. I was going to do the starting lineup and everything. And then,
That's it. I'll let you call the first few laps by yourself then.
well, no, I don't mind that either. But I'm just like, I thought, you've been muted before and thought that people were replying to you,
Yeah,
and then
well,
like
I just got done doing an Atlanta official. Oof.
Atlanta official.
Yeah, that's where they go to this week. But anyway, Will, they're getting ready to roll on out here. So it's a beautiful night here at Phoenix, under the lights. I got my 2 free tickets to Daytona, so that's wonderful. So I'll probably take a trip out there this year for their final race before they head into the playoffs. Thanks to NASCAR, NASCAR mobile app, shall we say, for that. As you see here, these laps are not long. The pace lap, shall we say, because no later than you pull out and then the pace goes back in. But he made it down there safely, so we ain't got to worry about that. So Jason Taylor and Brandon Moore are the 2 ones we're going to keep a very close eye on. So
green flag.
Green flag is out here at Phoenix AMS Cup Series 2024 Season B Series finale underway. Season finale underway as everybody barreling through turns 1 and 2 now under speed. And like Brian talked about, the 2 mathematically involved contenders for this championship, Brandon Moore and Jason Taylor. Great racing so far in the opening couple of laps here. We have seen before in the past how Phoenix can be a very slippery, slick, just absolutely handful type of track to deal with, but at the moment...
So the points are right now, Jason Taylor has 2,191, Brandon has 2,186, and Elliott has 2,178 with Michael Cochran. That is your top 4. But as you see here, Jason Taylor did take the lead away, Will, from Barton. Now he's going to go up there and run that. As Brandon Moore is back here somewhere. He's back there. Oh, he's 15th. Okay. So Brandon's just riding.
Yes, long way to go here. 150 laps. It's the length of a Craftsman Truck Series race.
Oh,
So, 150 miles. Oh man, Michael Cochran getting tangled up here, coming out of turn number 2. He was not clear. Looks like he just came right across into Greg Elliott. Looking at it live, but the replay here, it's going to shuffle up out of the corner, and he thought he was clear, but Greg had a nose for sure. Have to really that's just I guess we could just call that a racing incident, a racing deal, because he for sure thought he was going to be clear, Michael Cochran, but that 6 car of Greg Elliott was up there, no doubt about it. Can't say that was Greg's fault that time, Brian, but unfortunate that,
that
who
poor
was that,
Sinclair
Spear?
machine. Yes.
Sinclair machine, another dinosaur found in an asteroid, some people would say, but others would just say, hey, that was the flood. But either way, don't have to get into biblical terms at this moment in time. But yes, Taylor took the lead away from, Button early on here in the early goings. He was trying to drive away. We have a mixture of people pitting and staying out. So different strategies afoot here early on.
We got Taylor trying to do the Martin Truex.
So our first caution here at Phoenix early on. Phoenix can, in a way, be very similar to Martinsville, where you can get a lot of stop starts, North Wilkesboro type of just chaos.
That's why I like Phoenix, because the pace laps are short.
Speaking of Phoenix International Speedway or Raceway, I always say all the time,
being our truckers and be running Stafford and 5 Flags. I love it. Because now they'll actually have a setup for them. Oh, iRacing is such a doozy.
Green flag.
Green flag is out. Taylor gets a great restart there. He's going to do his best to try to take advantage of that. Free wide just about. Nope. Both of these turns are a lot different. Turns 1 and 2 and 3 and
4. And how different they are? Well, let's tell you. Because in turns 1 and 2, you have 8 degrees of banking. Turns 2, you have progressive 8 to 9 degrees of banking, so it starts to elevate 1 degree. Back straight away, you have 3 degrees. So it's very, looking here on the Wikipedia page, it can be a bit confusing, Brian. Turns 3 and 4, 10 to 11 degrees of progressive banking. Turn 2, 8 to 9 degrees of progressive banking. The straightaway and dog leg, straightaway from dog leg to turn 1, 10 degrees of banking.
Yep.
Straightaway, 3 degrees, and dog leg, 10 to 11 degrees of banking.
see there, Farmer's going to side draft to 78 there, slow him out a little bit to the best that he can. But 78's been pretty good for the most part. Farmer out there trying to finesse that outside line, trying to get some rubber built up there to have a little bit more grip. That's the thing, everybody has different lift points, so it's a lot different. Oh, just like that, you hit that imaginary bump, you cutting that dog leg, it will snap your rear around quick. And as we saw there, that's what happened to Will.
Well, there's no imaginary about it. That is a transition. That is a lot of, like we just talked about with the degrees of banking, that is a transition. That's a big bump to hit because with these flat bottom cars, Brian, that's a transition that these cars don't really necessarily like to take. They don't like to take aggressive bumps or things that's going to, really scrape the bottom of these cars. So that's a big jolt. You're really going to feel that too. So.
The sharp looking
Indeed, by Carter, wheeling that 98 real tree paint scheme there.
Being applied some pressure by the Van Halen machine.
Yeah, Farmer trying to slice and dice through the field. He's got Deutscher coming up right behind him as well. So this is a good battle for 6th, 7th, 8th, even Furtek, so 9th, joining into the fray. And then you have 10th and 11th, so basically 6th all the way down. Well, I take that back. It's 5th all the way down to 11th position, Brian. This fray going on now from Boughton all the way down to Roberts. Not me, not that Roberts, but never know, it could be Ken. So
you see Furtek on that rear of that Deutscher machine.
So only 18 laps fully completed here. And the best lap, we got some wall scrapage. Best lap being driven at the moment by the race leader, Jason Taylor. 23, totally. Yes, they're driving rocket ships around here, Indy cars. 27.384 is the fastest lap currently being driven by Jason Taylor.
Now this
Second
is his
place
race
man.
to win if he has no slip-ups or nothing. He's got to hit his marks perfect every time.
Yes, because if we can remember right, he won here earlier in the year, way back all those months ago, if we can remember right. So it's been a long time to remember the back that far, but it's okay. But
See, there's Zach trying to get by Carter. But Carter gets that run off of the exit. He's got, I'm going to say, a little bit more better handling car to carry that speed compared to Zach. Zach
making a look to the inside there. Just nothing really coming up, but because of the momentum that the middle lane has, being driven to perfection by Carter at the moment. Like we saw last night, anybody tunes into Max Speed TV, they were racing in Iowa last night, the SRU Cup Series, and if you could really get the middle drive off from the center to exit at Iowa, you can do the same thing here as what some of these competitors are being able to do, have that drive off, almost a double diamond that we've talked about before in the past, right, Brian? To where you can just have that drive off on exit to where you can keep that competitor below you and kind of an arm's or legs length away, keep them at bay at least to where they're behind you. But good battles ever so further down the running order.
Zach? Oh no, Zach's still in the same spot.
Greg Elliott has gotten by Jason Taylor for the race lead, Brian. At the moment, though, everybody just seems to be running the bottom through 1 and 2. There's a little bit of a mix-up in 3 and 4, but not severely too much. Everybody just seems to be in a line and just riding it out at the moment. 70 to 80 laps, guesstimated on a full tank, Brian, so...
I would say that's pretty good, decent amount of laps.
Stream is having some technical difficulties, but it's finally catching up with itself, I do believe, so it's good to see. Where is it? Either way, Sean O'Brien Jr., who I have been missing the past couple of weeks, you just know it because I've been trying to call everybody else, but, you know, Sean, who hasn't been showing up to some races, been even trying to call JD Sean, you know. Anyway, so some people didn't even have to be O'Brien, and I'm just like, that's Sean O'Brien, Brian. And Brian's like, wrong league. Well, it's okay. Anyway, so good to see my favorite Boston, my favorite fellow Boston fan out and about. You don't have a favorite basketball team, do you, Brian?
Well, unfortunately, being back home, we have what used to be called when Jason Kidd was there. The Nets. Now,
Oh, they moved to Brooklyn.
now to Brooklyn.
I guess
know
they...
it has a second and a half at the moment over Taylor.
Taylor's dropping into the clutches of Sean O'Brien Jr., it feels like, and also Keenan Miller. Keenan Miller is actually catching up to Sean O'Brien.
That he is.
Just about everybody now in the 28s. They for sure are in the 28s.
P2, Brandon Moore P13. Or 6.5 seconds back, just about, to being the 2.25 back by Taylor from the leader. But now Brandon was also
Brandon was also one of the cars that pitted during the first caution at lap lap 4, so always, anytime he can, come down and top off, be off strategy from anybody else. I feel like that is Brandon's mantra. So, excuse me, Zach Deutscher, plus 10 positions. And Greg Elliott and Sean O'Brien, respectfully, are both plus 8 positions on the field. Biggest losers at the moment would be myself and Michael Carter. So, let's get a double-decker bus. Anyway, good race going on at the moment. We are 38 laps, just about fully complete. If not, we are. Whatever.
how many 40? Close enough.
Almost 40 laps complete. While the stream's still having its buffering moments of bufferness. We had 4 people watching on YouTube, and I think because the stream is doing its thing, it's just like, nah, I'm okay. They left.
Yeah, I don't know why it's like that. Has its moments. She's here in the pits with Nathan Vaughn.
So good battle still all throughout this field. A lot of people just not being able to conserve the tires. Others able to have the tire longevity, just that life expectancy out of what they're trying to do here. And like I just said, others just falling to the wayside, so to speak. That's what you're going to get here at Phoenix. It can be pretty much a driver's track, and if you can't pretty much hit your marks here, it's going to be a long evening. If you're good at New Hampshire, you would feel like you would be good here. If you're good at Gateway, that's in pretty much on the outskirts of St. Louis, Missouri, you would be good here. If you would be good at the Milwaukee Mile, you would feel like you could be good here, but it is still a completely different track. It's a totally different beast in and of itself. Is Phoenix Raceway here. All those tracks I just listed, Milwaukee, New Hampshire, Gateway, they all may be somewhat similar in dimension, but they drive completely different to one another, all of them to do, so. But in theory, if you could be good at one of those tracks, just one of them, you could be good here. But, like I said, that almost goes out the window. Especially when battling for a championship deciding race type of event. Because when you're trying to get all you can get and the championship deciding race may be decided at a track you're not all that consistently well at. Oh my goodness. Battle for the lead, spicing things up. We have a 3-way battle for the lead. Jason Taylor takes the lead back away from Greg Elliott as Greg Elliott falling back to second place. Sean O'Brien Jr. makes his way back into the picture frame. And Keenan Miller in the 82 machine. Oh, my bad. That's Nathan Lyon.
And Nathan
He's got fresh tires.
38.
Yes. Stream still hasn't got back going again, but, you know, I have faith, I guess. Oh, there we go. Just had to refresh it, I guess. Hello, Blimp Gaming. How are you this evening? Wonderful night to come and tune in to the... Yeah, that's what I said. This is the... Yeah, I had to refresh the stream. I had to back out and get back into Twitch, but... Anyway, AMS Cup Series Season B of 2024 season finale. About to be a quarter of the way complete with this race. 50 laps in the books.
Yep, pit. We're starting to unfold here, Will. They told you how many laps, roughly?
Lies, I guess. So 70 to 80 laps, but man, who knows, Brian? It could have been, you know, maybe this is just when they decided the tires just couldn't take it anymore. And, you know, some drivers don't want to have too much of a net loss to them. They want to come back out and they want to get some fresh tires bolted on. So this could just be, you know, whenever some drivers start making that fresh sequence of green flag pit stops, they come out with fresh tires. They think they're going to gain some time, but no, they started something, and now everybody else is going to have to finish it, cycle out. Who's going to stay out the longest?
Now in the pits.
I believe they probably, no doubt, could have went a little bit longer, but maybe that could have just been to the point of just no return with the tire wear already, Brian. But man, oh man, who to tell? We're not out there driving.
I know, I did Phoenix earlier.
We would have to pluck them while they're racing, mid-race. Antonio Bonani is out there this evening. Great to see him back after a couple of week hiatus. He was busy with life. That's one reason why Jonathan Mazzella is not here with us competing. Things happen, but we know.
Trying to get home by O'Brien. Now,
yes, indeed, a lot of congestion. You can really see there. Man, you beat me. You beat me to it. I was about to say that, Brian. Yes, indeed, we are looking for what would be the overall race lead if it cycles out and no caution comes out, no terrible towel starts to wave during this cycle of green flag pit stops. So let's just wait and find out what is going to unfold here. Burtek and Cochran, Brandon Moore, Roberts, Boney. Oh no, this is exactly what I was fearing. Oh, man. Goes down there. That transition just caught the car out. Did not like it. The suspension just hopped a lot. And just around it came. Just completely lost grip, lost traction. Just did a couple of basketball bounces on those tires. You could really tell it with the suspension going up and down severely. That is basically what can happen, what can transpire when you dart down after the start-finish stripe onto this not so straight front straightaway, that dog leg straightaway there. I hate the fact. Cannot express it. Man, he just don't know what manufacturer he wants to be in, whether it's a Chevy or he was in a Chevy, right? Earlier this season, right? I thought so. But, yeah, I'm not a big fan of the reconfiguration of Phoenix, Brian, as you already know. But, yeah, I never did like it. Still don't. It's not and will never grow on me. I don't like a lot of change, especially whenever it's not good change. Yes, Brian?
Trucks do race at Lime Rock this year coming. Well, you have to expect that change, ain't you?
Well, I mean, at least that's interesting change, I guess. That's going to be
a doozy.
I don't. It's going to be something, as I like to say.
A humdinger.
Yes. I don't know what to expect with NASCAR. I mean, I watch plenty of Trans Am racing, so I mean, it's going to be like that, but a little bit slower. I feel like because trucks are slower than other NASCAR equipment normally. But
how do you feel about the Mexico Grand Prix that they're going to?
I feel like if they can go to Mexico, they can go to one of the two tracks that is up north in Canada. Okay. If they can.
Circuitville moved and Canadian Tire.
Yeah, if they can put Mexico City, Mexico on the calendar, then I believe there should be a NASCAR date north of the border at least.
I agree. But then it is on.
You have
Canadian Tire wants to renew that, I do believe, because I know.
Oh, come on, Ron Fellows. Ron Fellows owns the track. He could. Anywho, so.
Wasn't it just Xfinity or trucks that way? I want to say just
trucks.
That's a pisser.
And IMSA. IndyCar has raced there a couple of times, but not since COVID.
Good old Ron Fellows, huh?
Yep.
Hey,
multi-time Corvette winner and champion, and
Brandon's now with P3.
And we have a long list of waiver rounders that are trying to catch up, and looks like they will catch up because it's a long crawl back to the stripe. And when they get the green flag here, they're going to get the green flag with 90 laps remaining in this race. And Dwayne Fairtech will lead them away. Brandon Moore in third place. Jason Taylor in 8th place, so 4 positions separate. 5 positions separate. Who? Which one? Who?
Craig Elliott. Full sector in there, buddy.
Well, remember, he did that at Iowa, and his, that called into question, so, but remember, can't do that.
Nope. Oh, leaning on each other there, of Taylor and Bonani. Oh, just like, man.
Huge crash. Antonio's definitely out. Oh, wait, they have fast repairs, don't they? So, my apologies. You go one day from calling a series in a race that they don't have fast repairs, and then you see a traumatic crash like this, and you just can't help but think, oh, that damage, that's a lot of damage. Man, what a wreck. Just you lose it coming out of turn number 2 there. I'm not even 100% sure if he lost it or if he got touched. But what a tremendous turn of events. Oh, Jason Taylor coming up through the field. That's Jason Taylor in the 44. So he's going to go low, way low. Oh, and Nathan Line just starts to break loose, and they touch, things occur, and oh my. And up into Antonio Nathan goes. Jason trying to put on binders and avoid all of this, and
What a hard lick.
man, hard lick indeed.
Hate it for him.
Well, we've seen it before in the past, and we've seen it now. Where do you want to be at Phoenix? You know, do you want to be up front? Do you want to be in the middle? Do you just want to ride, conserve? It's soon going to be 75 laps to go. Like, where do you want to be?
I would say in the front. Because if you're riding
Yes.
about mid-pack, you gotta watch out for those dive bombers. We know it. We've seen it on every racing game. Console side of things, PC side of things, you are just not safe. Everybody's driving style is different, Will. Nobody has the same driving style. So you gotta kind of adapt to how the other drivers are driving around you. That's why I go into every race scouting the field. Know what they do, when to make the move. But I would rather be in the front. But either way, on tracks like this, you're still not safe being in the front. Because you can use that whole apron down there.
And with the way that these Gen 7 cars can be, you know, these modern Gen 7 Cup cars, it almost seems like every lap's going to be different. Every time you go into each corner is going to be different. It seems like it's even tougher to build up temperature in these tires, Brian.
Oh, absolutely, Will, I agree.
Green flag.
Rolling into the restart zone. Restart, back out in the air. Green flag is waving. Everybody will barrel into turns 1 and 2 after going through the dog leg here. About 3 wide just about. So
we saw there Will Roberts almost lost her again by sending her all the way down there below the race line, up pretty much down there to the wall. similar instance there with Keenan Miller a little bit too far down there and about did a whole
5 laps to go, and we'll be at halfway. As like I said earlier, you just got battles all throughout the field. Ostrander all the way back to, who is that? Spear is just throw a big quilt over him, and this is what you got. You have Botten, my apologies, Ostrander, Botten, Bonini, Carter, Miller, Roberts, Taylor, and McDonald with Spear. So they're doing everything but spearing each other.
Brandon Moore fell back to P6.
But that's okay, because at the moment, like we've talked about, you just got to finish ahead. Really just gain those points, and hopefully you have accumulated enough points to stay ahead of Jason Taylor, because as it stands, Brandon Moore comes into this race with a 5-point lead over Jason Taylor. Okay, thank you for the correction. My apologies.
But they still got a while to go, so anything can happen to B. Anything could happen to Jason. And they do it off the point system, so I do believe. So even if Brandon finishes ahead of Taylor, if Taylor accumulated any bonus points, that's going to help Taylor out more. So those are just some things to keep an eye on.
That song is always in your head, ain't it?
It is. Well, on my cut team and college ultimate team, I think my home uniform was Tennessee.
So,
anytime you score
man, what a
touchdown-
slide job by Roberts in front of Ostrander. Oh my, this is still an intense battle back here. Spear found the wall. So my grandfather wrote a bunch of gospel songs, Brian, back in the 60s and 70s, early 80s, and mainly the 60s and 70s.
Conway.
No. Anyway, and there's a couple of them that really, like every day, for instance, if you was to listen to them somehow, hopefully I can find one and send to you. But the tune is so catchy that if you hear it, it'll be in your head just like Rocky Top. Because it's so catchy, just like Rocky Top, that it's always in my head every day. And if I was to get you to hear it somehow or another, I'm going to see real quick while we're on this discussion if this one guy has uploaded it to his YouTube channel. But anyway, yeah, my grandfather wrote a whole list of, he's got a whole, had basically a booklet, a whole song book of songs that he wrote. He was a forklift operator at a Caterpillar production plant, and he would have a little notepad that he would take with him to work, and he would basically doodle on it while driving his forklift. It was crazy.
Well, I tell you what, they are sure as heck of using that dog light there, going out, passing the start-finish line, which is also applying more wear and tear will to those tires. So the more they keep using it, the more
There
wear
will
and
be a
tear.
caution.
Whoa, man! Josh Farmer and Greg Elliott had it coming together there.
Championship rivals from last season as well, Brian. And also this season, every season they've been out on track, man. They always go at it head to head with one another, and it looks like it has got to that head at this point. What happened here? We are looking at the replay now. Oh, getting into the corner, Elliott gets in there. Oh, just a bit better than Farmer. It looks like gives him a nudge, and just uncontrollable. Then Uncle Netcode, I think, peeked in there as Elliott went to go around the outside. Oh, man, Farmer, all four tires off the ground there.
Almost
As, yeah, almost did a flip here at Phoenix. But, man,
everybody coming down to the pits. Besides Bolton, Carter, and Miller. Very good race so far.
aha! I found it. Brian.
Go.
So, like, real quick, like, just mute your, like, this is my grandfather. So, like, just, like, mute your, like, don't, like, come over the stream or whatever. But, like, that's my grandfather, basically. Well, there's no basically about it. But, like, that song that I just sent you, it gets stuck in my head. So, like, I can wake up, and it's, like, instant. I can just be driving down the road, and I've not heard this song in years, okay? And the fact that I used to listen to it all the time on family vacations or in the car with my grandfather, or just hanging out with him or whatever, like, it's always in my head, right? Can't get out. It's basically like how Rocky Top is with you. So, lights are off on the pace car. Everybody's double file Noah's Ark style line back up. Adam Botten, Michael Carter, Dwayne Furtek, Keenan Miller, Jason Taylor. That's the top five. Sean O'Brien Jr., Michael Cochran, Zach Deutscher, Aaron Spear, Antonio Bonani is the top 10 in some order there. Josh Farmer, Will Roberts, Avery McDonald, Brandon Moore, and Chris Ostrander is the cars remaining. And on the lead lap, Greg Elliott, 2 laps down. My apologies. Getting the restart here at lap 85. 84 laps will be complete. Green flag is out. Here we go. And Dwayne or somebody, who was that? Oh, never mind. Michael Carter just doesn't get a good restart on that inside lane. And you just have to say that sometimes that's just going to be the thing that's going to happen when you're not the control car. You just It's very hard to time the restarts to a T when you're restarting on the corner exit coming up out of a corner. One of the few tracks that you're ever going to have a restart like that coming up out of the corner. Intense fighting going on.
Slide up onto Bonani or was it Spear? Oh, Zach got a
Jason Taylor. Yes, indeed. Jason Taylor also getting back by Fairtech into second position. Now looking to take the lead away from Adam Boughton. Great racing here going on for the season finale here at Phoenix AMS Cup Series. 60 laps remaining at the stripe. And Brian, let's do a crank it up here this evening. Get able to ride on board and get some good POVs of how each driver is taking their lines into the corner and so on. Oh! Who was that just smacked the wall coming out of turn 2? That was Carter, Michael Carter. Okay, well, let's crank it up, everybody. Well, here we are with less than 50 laps remaining in this season's worth of AMS Cup competition. Here in the Anarchy Motorsports season has been one heck of a season in total, if you count season A and B's worth of races. I tell you, we had in total, quite a handful. I want to say it was 7 or 8 in total races this season out of, 32 races, I believe it is, 32, to go caution free. So that's pretty good. And we had a couple of races that was just 1 or 2 cautions. So I'm just saying, pretty good net result at the end of things. So I know whenever it gets to the playoffs or it gets to a certain point in each season, it always tweedles down or whittles down to a handful of drivers, which every league, every series can do that. So it's okay. Got to remember, these independent leagues, it's not like these drivers are actually, being paid to run here. These guys do it because they want to. They love the competition. They love, what the reward is at the end of each season. Bragging rights, and maybe there is rewards at the end of each season. You never can tell. Each league's going to be different. Each league has its own set of rewards. Riding on board with each and every driver out there that's circulating. 43 laps now remaining, yes.
Antonio Bonani has a lot of tire rubber on the front of that car.
Dwayne Furtek in the lead over Zach Deutscher. Jason Taylor has kind of settled into third at the moment, but Michael Cochran is all over him from the looks of things and trying to pass him. And he does make the pass. So this is looking to hurt Jason, but for some reason tonight, Brandon is, I would say Brandon's kind of struggling. Doesn't look to be the typical Brandon pace that we come to know and love and just kind of respect out of Brandon at short tracks. But once he's just been back in this dirty air, caution is out. Who can it be for? AB. Oh no, is that Antonio Bonani? Perhaps, or is that the other? Ooh, Adam Botten in the 94 machine just gets it wrong coming up out of the corner, and who else but Brandon Moore gets kind of sideswiped. So both championship contenders has been in the fray here tonight, just been in the mix, been in the battles, rubbing it up amongst everybody. Nowhere to go in Brandon Moore's defense. Like he just kind of helps Adam the rest of the way. You kind of feel like, because Adam has to get out of the throttle right whenever he felt like he was picking it back up. That's whenever the wheel slippage happens, wheel spin, or just too much torque. Something happens coming up out of the corner for Adam driving that 94 machine, and it just sends him awry. Starts as if he hit a patch of oil or ice, or a car gonna whip around, and like I said, nowhere to go for B Moore. Like I was just mentioning, Brian, you would figure would be up here in the top 5, maybe contending for this race win. With 40 laps to go, 5th caution of the night, is now the time to make hay and get to the front. Maybe now fire control team has put out those fires. Maybe the ship is not going to completely sink, and we can get the ship awry and get it back on the beat and narrow path. I don't know why I've got all these ship into windows going on. But anyway, naval historian in me wants to be on a boat. So, anywho, next time I come up to North Carolina, we got to go to the USS North Carolina, Brian.
Yep, that's over there, and
Yes. Anywho, so that we gotta go. Whenever I come up there, if I do get to come up there for Rockingham, I don't even care if it's on the opposite side of the state. We gotta go because it's on my bucket list of things I gotta do before I, kick the bucket. I want to go to every museum ship that I can.
A World War museum out here.
Yeah, spit it out, Brian. Kind of sound like me there for a moment.
Because my sister's been there with my nephew Jay. He likes it. He always thinks the army men standing there are real. He goes up and tries to have a conversation with them.
All the mannequins?
Yeah. Yet again, being 3 years old.
Hey man,
He's a cutie though. When he does it, I laugh. And then they went to
it's better than that.
Then they went to the wax museum, and his favorite one is Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Dale Earnhardt together.
Oh, that's cool. There you go. Oh, okay. They gotta be a certain temperature or they start melting.
It stays nice and cool in there.
Green flag.
Flag's back out.
That's the whole point. Anyway, closing in on 25 laps to go, as it is 37 to go at this moment in time. Bad restart for JT on the outside lane. Like I said, you just don't really have an advantage unless you're the race leader here at this track. Man, everybody but Avery ducked down to the dog leg. You see how beneficial it is for some, but others, you really have to back up that corner for turn, I almost said 3, for turn 1. That's the just never let die attitude of, I forgot the track was flipped. Oh my.
What's the difference between old tires and new? Whoa, look at that fiasco back there. Oh, Taylor gets a little bit too wide.
.35 laps remaining. Who's going to settle the score and win this race? And who will win this championship here in the AMS Cup Series Season B of 2024?
I hate to say it, but I think it may be Jason Taylor. He's been very consistent with this guy.
Why do you hate to say that? We're supposed to be like we're supposed to be calling it straight down the middle, right? Like cut it with a knife, like right down the loaf of the middle of the bread, like. Ramble on. Anyway, approaching 30 to go now.
Wow.
And such a tight-knit group back here. What? Oh my goodness. Okay.
Oh, Avery! In other words, what I meant was after the season B that he had, who would have thought that he would have been fighting for
oh man,
championship. I know a lot of the things they say have to reword a lot of it.
Very.
Now, here comes Brandon. Starting to make it.
Yeah, you still can't count him out.
Oh, you're right. Just like you said, is now the time to go. And we know Brandon, he can really wheel and deal when it's that time to go. That's going to hurt Brandon a little bit, Will. So Blinky from the 78 machine there with the doppelganger. Kind of slowed it out a bit. Ever so slightly closing in on 25 laps to go.
Yeah, I bet you he's calling me everything in the book. I bet you he's never hated to see my name more. As Brandon Moore has a moment
Twice.
With Michael Carter. Yes, indeed. Oh, Will. What a catch. What a save. What a spectacular save. That may not have looked like much. I know. That was a heck of a save. Can't believe I just did all that.
And I will. Look, here comes Brandon Moore. 3 cars behind Jason Taylor.
And we have to remember, it's not about the points. It is about the points. It's not about the finishing position on track. It's about the points that you have accumulated in this playoff run that matters. So I'm sorry if I'm wheezing or sounding like Darth Vader every now and again. But anyway, so I'm not saying he needs to get up there and like catapult Jason Taylor into the next state, but he really needs Jason.
That's the way you go.
Well, I'm just saying he needs Jason to not really finish in the top 10, if you think about it mathematically wise, right? He needs to finish like 7 at least to be comfortable, 7 spots better. If I'm turning into you now, if every position is 1 point, Brian, then he needs to finish, to be comfortable, he needs to finish 7 spots ahead of Jason, right?
Or, God forbid, hopefully this does not happen to him. Or if Taylor wrecks, hopefully that does not happen. I'd like to see him and Brandon duke it out there.
No, it's happening. Oh my goodness. Brandon and Carter. Yes.
Well, I told you to leave Brandon alone.
This has been an excellent race. These guys can't stay leaning off each other. They have some sharp elbows, I do tell you.
Ball in the wall.
Oh! Jason gets turned by his teammate on teammate crime. Oh no! Right at the start-finish line, they dived. They both were going to dive down to hit the dog leg, but oh no! Ironically enough,
that was the commentary curse. I should have never said anything.
We did nothing of the sorts. We just watched it happen. JT prematurely jumped down to the apron before that is exactly what happened, because Sean O'Brien is at his inside, and as soon as JT gets to the stripe, he's like, I'm out of the plane. I am jumping. Like it looks like a paratrooper from D-Day, basically, like before sunrise. It's like, I'm out of this plane. Yeah, he is. Wow, what another. Oh, and then Ostrander comes out of nowhere and says, this bud's for you. Oh my goodness. Wow, did you see Sean O'Brien Jr.'s car get lifted up like, that other gospel song, Love Lifted Me? Well, I tell you what, he got lifted. I'm trying to do gospel songs now instead of like, throwing swearing innuendos. Anyway, That's always good, right, Brian? That's a good pal right in the kisser laugh. Anyway, so, man, oh man, this really turned the race on its head, upside down, and did a Tony Hawk 920 kickflip 720, and he broke both of his knees. So, I just, I don't know what to say anymore. I'm at a loss for work. I mean, as hard as they were racing, those 4 or 5 competitors, and only 2 of them buying, betting for a championship pretty much. And I mean, JT didn't get hurt. Like his car did not get T-boned or wham or anything unlike O'Brien's did. You think he still has that fast repair. Now, fastest lap of the race has been turned by Dwayne Furtek. Dwayne just casually sitting here with a 27.235 with his best fastest lap. He's got a 10th on anyone else, and that anyone else is
Taylor.
No, Michael Cochran.
Oh. And then why'd you lie?
Oh no, yeah, you right. Yeah.
I remember you saying
My bad.
before Taylor was the fastest.
Taylor.
I think it's whoever the freshest car is
Look
out
at,
front.
yeah, look at it. Taylor's got a 289, and Dwayne's got a 235. My bad. So yeah, you were right. I was looking right below at Cochran's lap time, which is pretty much a 10th off of Dwayne. So if you're going to win this race, you got to go through the Big D, and I don't mean Dallas. How many more song titles can I name? I don't know. Let's find out. I got 21 miles to go. So, well, at least I got Rocky Top out of your... Oh, almost said it. Almost. Never mind. Out of your flopping head. So Dwayne leading the field into the restart zone. I said it before you could get it out your mouth. Green flag back out in the air. So, contact between Spear and, I know his name, Cochran.
That is really good.
But what a save. What an excellent save. You know, that's going to hurt, but can he recover with 20 miles to go?
Here comes Brandon, ever so slightly.
You know, he is. Like we talked about, he's got to finish. Let's do the math real quick. Taylor's down in 13th, just made up a spot in 12th position. So, and B. Moore is in 8th. That's not enough spots, Brian. And he just lost a position but it's not enough spots. And I don't believe Brandon Moore has even led a lap, has he? So, if they hand out points for fastest reboot, if they hand out points for leading leading a lap, he won't get that until he gets up there and leads a lap, which we know Jason Taylor has done tonight. So, man, oh man, Brandon Moore really has to set him up and put him down, Joe. Wasn't actually the song title. I was off by a lyric, but we're not going to talk about it. as coming to 15 laps to go. It's been an intense battle since the start of this season B, all the way back to season A of 2024. I tell you, when we kicked off the season A at Daytona, it was a doozy. It was a barn burner of a race, caution-free race, to tell you the truth. And it did not disappoint the entire whole 2024 season. And I tell you what, this has turned into a barn burner to boot as well, with 15 laps remaining. Dwayne Furtek in the lead, but not by comfortable margin. It's just over half a second to hungry Josh Farmer in second place. He really wants to get another dub this season. Zach Neuscher, 3 wide too, looking. Oh, there's a moment. Oh, wow, no, that is not going to help. All that position. He just lost 4 spots in one corner, Brian. 4 positions just gone in the blink of an eye. Oh, Greg Elliott missed the corner. Wow. So championship competitors side by side again. Jason Taylor with a bit of a lockup. Oh, he's going to slide in front of Brandon Moore. What a slide job. Brandon Moore to the inside, going to nudge him back up. Oh, my. Elbows out, strong indeed, sharp and pointy as ever. Brandon Moore now on the hunt to gain back those positions. That is heavy overcorrection. Big contact made. Michael Carter back up the track, and he collects Sean O'Brien Jr., Will Roberts, and Jason Taylor. Jason Taylor gets a piece of this. We're going to need an onboard of the 44, Brian. Bubble cam if we can, because he gets a piece of it. So we're going to see Michael Carter just lose it coming out of turn number 4. He overcorrects hard up into the outside retaining wall, and Will nowhere to go. He's going to just net code Jason. Jason going to get down the track, but luckily I think he saves it here. He does. He saves it, keeps it on the beaten path. Oh my, and there's Ostrander saying hello. So don't know how much damage the 44 has, but 88, I think, also was able to get through clean and free, so fancy free. So, man, oh man, championship still in play for both of these competitors. Taylor gets caught up in the next caution. It could ruin his hopes. That's really what Brandon, mathematically, I'm just telling you what needs to happen for these competitors to take it all here. I'm just saying mathematically. I don't want nothing else. I'm like Brian. I want to see it duked out. I want to see them really have to dig and claw and fight for it. And mistakes will happen, and things will be what will be. But racing is racing at the end of the day, and some things are controllable and others aren't, is all you can say about that, I guess. But, man, oh man, like I said, mathematically, Brandon needs 6 points. How he would need those 6 points is he would need Jason Taylor to drop drastically down the totem pole now, and Brandon would need to gain 1 position at least. All Jason needs to do is really finish where he is, or just keep advancing. If Brandon advances positions, just, and he has this title clinched at the checkered flag, we assume, speculate, and guess. Other than that, it's still, like I said, it's still open for these two competitors. It's wide open. It's up in the air. Dwayne was really looking to maybe open the gap to Farmer, because, man, Farmer, it looked like he could have pounced and been to Furtek. no doubt about it. Deutscher was really looking hot. He really thrives on short to medium runs on short tracks, it feels like, and that was a short run, Brian. He just moved into third position. So,
Yeah, and Phoenix can be tough.
oh, it's very tough. It's a tough track.
As they say, it's a driver's track, which it is. If you're out of rhythm, that's it. You're gonna be up in the cahoots. Way down on the Chattahoochee, it's hungry. We lay up Can Brandon get to at least third in these next 8 laps, or maybe the lead?
That's a good question. Do we see a green light checkered? Do we see another terrible towel as we roll into the restart? Green flag is back out in the air.
Oh,
Furtek spins his tires. He's gone. Furtek is out. Oh, he also broke a toe link, I think.
Yep.
Consequences of just restarting, coming up out of a corner. It doesn't. You can be the leader. It doesn't matter. Now Farmer and Deutscher are going to battle with Miller on their tail. Cochran right behind, but no, Cochran gets swallowed up. Brandon Moore is up front now. Oh, contact. Bonini and Ostrander going fisticuffs. As a little bit further up, things are getting a brewing, things are happening. 1, 2, 3. That is Farmer, Deutscher, Brandon Moore, but Keenan Miller looking to the inside of Moore. Nothing happening though, as Deutscher trying to pounce on Farmer, trying to get another win this season. Both these drivers are, but Brandon Moore, could Brandon Moore get the win and tally up enough points that he needs to win this championship? It would all be decided at the checkered flag, like we said. If JT can't advance any more positions and keep chasing Brandon Moore down, keep that points tally at bay, just hold it off. What can transpire? 4 laps remaining, Brian.
Yep. I'm not too sure if Brandon has 2 tires.
Oh, Jason Taylor getting up and at him with Greg Elliott there, trying to claw that position away. Oh, and he does, but Elliott driving into the corner almost at the back door of Keenan. As JT does a slide job on Miller, and now no cars are separating him and B. Moore. But as Jason Taylor overdrive the entry to turn 3, almost, you thought he would. 2 laps remaining, the penultimate lap of the 2024 season here in the AMS Cup Series. All boils down to this. Coming to get the white flag. Does Deutscher have anything left for Farmer? What's going to transpire? White flag is waving. What you got is what you got here. The bed you have made, you are laying in it. All the points you could have tallied up, all the best finishes, it's been all for naught. Coming out of turn number 2, down the back straightaway for the final time here at Phoenix. Josh Farmer wins the race. Oh, Brandon Moore gets 3rd. Jason Taylor 4th. I have to wait for confirmation word, but you would have to speculate that JT would be the champion, right? Mathematically, I would assume, Brian,
Me too.
Farmer, Deutscher, Moore, Taylor, Elliott is the top 5. Miller, McDonald, Boughton, Cochran, Spear, Bonini, Ostrander, Furtek, Roberts, Carter, O'Brien, and Nathan Lyon rounds out this field. An incredible race, Brian.
Absolutely. A lot of action all over. Good job for Farmer. Fought tooth and nail. I hate it for Dwayne. That was his race to win, and just early on the throttle. And going from the start-finish line down in that apron a little too quick.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate for Dwayne. Really wouldn't like if I was the race leader, I would have hated to have seen that caution coming out, and just knowing I have another restart to try to overcome and just build another lead to whether it be half a second or 5 seconds. Like I got to build a lead again and go back at it, but just tire slippage, wheel spin. It happens to the best of them, and that's what we saw as Brian is trying to wrangle up our finishers and our championship competitors and winners.
So I guess we'll talk to Brandon.
Brandon, got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, you did everything you could to, try to get yourself in a higher finishing position that you needed to be. But unfortunately, JT never let you go out of his sight, and he was there the entire time. It seemed like it seemed like tonight was just a bit of a struggle more for you tonight than normal. Brandon, what were you struggling with tonight?
It's just trying to make these passes late in the run mainly. I was just kind of hanging out the first of the race, but there at the end, just trying to make up the spots, take advantage of the tires, and it's just a loose surface. It's so easy to get yourself in trouble. I mean, we made a few good moves there to get up towards the podium, but we just needed some gap there is what we needed. It wouldn't even matter if we won the race, I don't think, as far as points, if he's going to finish right there. But we did everything that we could but wreck the car.
Well, going into this race, Taylor was 5 points ahead of you.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I don't know how they do points over here.
I'm not for sure either. I just assumed I would have to win the race and then beat him by at least 5 or 6 spots just to make sure that I had it. So
yeah, that's what we were talking about.
Yeah, it took a big old, difference there. But
you were going towards the end.
Do you see that wicked crossover that I did? Like underneath of them?
Hey, that was some great racing, man. Before the teammate on teammate crime with Sean and Jason, and then afterwards, even the racing that transpired after that caution, it was great racing all night. To be honest, from the drop of the green flag, I almost didn't think there was going to be a caution early on, and then there was a quick caution early on, but then I thought this was one of the better Phoenix races I've called in a
Oh
long
yeah, I thought it
time.
was great. But I don't. I've done this a long time, but I think that's the hardest I've ever pushed a car. Like legitimately, that's the hardest on edge I've ever pushed a car and taken risks on trying to make moves to get position.
Somehow you did it
Right,
though.
because you knew how crucial and how tight the point spread was and
Yeah,
how,
you just had to
you
send it.
know,
I mean, you just had to dive it in there underneath people and try to make it stick. I mean, that's the only choice you had. I don't
well,
like doing
Brent,
those kind of moves either because then you risk other people's races, and I don't want to put people in that kind of situation. But points battles like this is kind of forces your hand, and you kind of have to just apologize after the race.
well, Brandon, overall, final thoughts, shout outs of tonight's, not just tonight's race, but, this season that you have been able to be a part of in the AMS Cup Series so far. And maybe if you come back next season, what you could be looking forward to again, racing with these guys, or how, just tell us how you feel.
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody that's a part of AMS that puts on these races, gets everything coordinated, and I know that's a huge effort, to do that kind of thing. Thank all the drivers who come out week in and week out and showed up to, put on these close points battles and to give us finale races like this. This is the reason that we do these kind of things is to, have these kind of moments. But and just thankful to be able to put myself, P2 in points. It's a good run, good season. I think we finished P2 in the owners' points too. So overall, I mean, you can't be mad at this season. Very thankful.
Well, Brandon, congratulations again on overall pretty great season here. First season competing against the AMS competitors here in the AMS Cup Series. Hopefully, we'll be talking to you more again later and also next season here.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, yeah. We'll
So
try to hit it up again next season. I like racing with these guys. There's a lot of talent in here, a lot of good drivers. This is the kind of racing that you want to be a part of.
so Brandon did finish second. To Taylor. Taylor ended up with 22-32. Brandon did have 22-27. So that was much of
Wow.
a hard fought gap there. Hey, Farmer finished P3. Look at that.
And this
So
just goes to show you, for like real life NASCAR, you do not have to have a playoffs format that's like has to be so bunched up. You know what I mean?
Elimination
'Cause
stuff.
elimination style. This is a whole different format, and look at the
Yeah,
kind of
this is
racing
the
that we
original
had.
10 chase driver format.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is
this is,
this is what you want.
it's
yes.
actually 15.
I, whatever, Brian, it's a points reset, without eliminations. Gee, we gotta be so technical.
Hey,
But yeah,
Jiminy Cricket.
we'll be back next season. We'll give them hell, so to speak, and hopefully be able to eliminate some of the mistakes and then minimize some of the crashes that we had and unfortunate times throughout the season. But again, that's a part of racing too. But thank the broadcast booth too. I forgot to thank y'all. Y'all do a great job.
Thank you, Brandon. And like we said,
appreciate it.
congratulations again, and hopefully we'll be talking to you more again.
All right, sounds great. Thank y'all.
Oh, buddy. No problem, buddy.
No pun intended to his last name. Anyway, so that's Brandon Moore, P3 tonight, and also championship runner-up here in AMS Cup Series.
Next up, Zach Deuscher.
Zach,
Boys.
P2 runner-up finisher here tonight, podium finish. And just what more do you need? Could you have another restart maybe to maybe get Farmer or what more, Zach?
I don't know if a restart or just another 10 laps. So then my car didn't come in after like 5 or 6 laps in. But
Mm-hmm.
I ran out of. I was pushing so hard to catch him there. I kind of ran out of wind there. We did as much as we could, but at second place, I'm still happy with. We tried our hardest.
And just overall, the racing tonight was pretty awesome as well. In between the sprinkled in cautions, right? Typical Phoenix race to a certain degree. Like this is, I was saying to Brian and Brandon a while ago, one of the better Phoenix races I have got to call in a long time, as far as just how much hard-nosed racing there was between everybody involved. All in all, tonight and just the whole season that you've been a part of here with the AMS group, what's your thoughts on it, Zach?
For the little I did race, unfortunately, the work kind of caused me to miss half the season. But I'm definitely coming back next year. This is a really great group, and like Brandon was saying, there's a good amount of talent in here. Good group of guys, and anybody looking for a league Monday nights, I would definitely recommend these guys.
Yes, ever since I've met Avery and the whole AMS group, you can ask Brian, I have tried to recruit my fair share of individuals over here, and I don't even have iRacing yet. So, I for a guy that just doing verbal recruitment, I feel like I've done a good job for Avery. But yeah, just heck of a group over here. Like I was saying before the race ended, in total, like they had, I want to say 7 or 8 caution-free races, and they had about 5 in total where they had maybe 1 to 3 cautions. So a good group of guys over here. What more would you want to ask for on a Monday night? It's a good group of guys. But Zach, overall, your race tonight, it was a bit back and forth and everything, but it was a good Phoenix race for you historically tonight, I would say.
Yeah, the first run there, we weren't really good. I was kind of figuring out what to kind of do. It takes me a little bit to adapt to the track, but once we got that first green flag pit stop, I thought we were kind of screwed because of, the caution came out there in green flag, but we got a wave around them. After that, the car was almost on rails. It just got better and better the longer the green flag came out. But like I said, we just came a little too short, unfortunately, tonight. But the car overall was really good. I was very happy with the team and the setup.
Well, final thoughts and shout-outs. Anything else you'd like to add about tonight or your half season in total?
To you guys for broadcasting, it's always a pleasure listening to you guys while racing. AMS and everybody that's involved with it. You guys do a lot for us, and we cannot say we appreciate you enough for this league. It's a lot of fun meeting new people and friends. STR, another good finish for the year. Hopefully we can seal the deal next Sunday for the championship, but that's going to be hard. But teams, friends, and family that's watching, and good job to Jason for the championship, man. It's been a really close race, and I was fun listening to it while racing on the broadcast.
Well, Zach, better luck next season over here in the AMS Cup Series, and we'll be catching up with you later, bud.
Thanks, guys.
No problem, buddy. Have a good night. Next up, as we have P3 in the final standings of the night. Hell of a dry back wheel by Mr. Farmer here. Awesome to see him win. I enjoy it. Just an overall talented driver when he's not caught up in the
Shenanigans.
Yeah, throughout the rest of the night. Mr. Farmer, good night, sir. Shall we say? I can't even tell you good evening.
Well, I appreciate that. I got you all fooled. I just had to have a good stretch of tracks there at the end of the seasons. I struggle at plenty, so I just had a good stretch of tracks there to end the season.
Right, that's one way to word it. I mean, or to say it, because yeah, you always have a way to make us on our edge as far as be like, well, what's wrong with Josh? Josh seems to be struggling here, and then next week you're like, you're in victory lane. So, like you said, good stretch to end the season in this stretch of races, like you said. So. Talk about Phoenix. Phoenix looks to be, like short tracks in general, look to be your bread and butter. Like, how are you so good with the rhythm, momentum? Like, what is it, Josh?
I think it just fits my eye better. I've always liked short tracks. I always like braking hard at places. Places like Martinsville and Phoenix look good to me, but then I go to Richmond and I can't figure it out. So it's just, I guess, years and years of watching it. I guess it's paid off, but I didn't have no long-run car. The cautions fell right for me, and I just had some good tires there at the end. But I think I'd have finished top 3 with a long run. But I also had some big contenders out of the way too.
Oh yeah, they kind of tweedled themselves down and took themselves out of contention like flies at some points, and you were just kind of thinking, well, who's going to be next? Is it going to be me? Just almost just different mistakes each driver was making, and you were like, well, is it going to be my turn next? Maybe am I going to be the next person to make a mistake? Right? It's so easy to do here, especially with the restart zone being right in turn 4. Like you get in turn 4 and you're like, restart.
Yeah, it's right there in the middle of the corner, and I hate the 51 spun. I would have hoped I'd have had him anyways, but I had enough tire there at the end that I was able to be a little bit more patient and try to avoid some of those mistakes. But I did get sideways a few times out there today.
Well, Josh, congratulations again tonight on the win. Final thoughts of tonight's race, and also just the season in general, Josh.
Oh, it was a good season. I had a good group of guys to race with. I appreciate y'all hanging out with us all season. I hope to be back in February, and I look forward to it.
Yes, sir. We do as well. Can't wait to be back with you.
Yep, so thank y'all for doing this. Hopefully I see you at Daytona.
Yes, sir, indeed. Hopefully we will have you back. Also, keep your head high. You fought very hard this season. You're there when it counts. Fortunately, things don't go the way that it needs to go, but you're a hell of a driver. Don't let anyone tell you less. Just keep fighting. You'll eventually get more and more wins as it comes. Racing in leagues with different group of talented drivers is tough to overcome. And this season, I would say you were the most exciting to me and Will throughout the whole season. We enjoyed calling races with you in it because we never know what we're going to get with you. So you keep your head high, keep pushing, and you'll get a lot more wins.
I appreciate that. Y'all have a good night.
You too, buddy. All right.
We got to say bye to these people at some point, Brian. We can't. Okay. I'm just making sure.
Next
Make sure
up,
you know that.
Mr. Another Brick in the Wall Corn Fanatic, who locked up the season championship, Mr. Taylor. Hard fought back by you. It was neck to neck with you and Brandon, trying to gather everything that you can gather out there between you and Brandon, driving it hard. A little mishap happened with you and the teammate. Why don't you go ahead and walk us through that?
Well, he was trying his best to not run me over and like affect my race too much. He wasn't as fast as I was all day, so he was just trying to not affect the race too much.
Yes, sir.
And then I got a little checked up when somebody was passing on my outside, and I guess he just collected me. And it was a little bit of a blessing because I was on real bad tires, and I was about to start hemorrhaging positions over the next 20 laps or so. So I mean, it worked out, but I definitely didn't want to be in that position because we were on the green flag stops, and then the caution comes out during the cycle, and that really threw us into the gutter. And that kind of felt like how the season had been going all year for me. You know, just getting in bad positions and then having to fight tooth and nail just to get back out and get a good consistent finish. And all the competitors in the league, Brandon, Josh, Greg was so dominant all year. Everybody, Michael and everybody was just is such a difficult season, and I'm just glad I Matt Kraft in this thing.
I was just about to say that. But anyway, sir, you did a hell of a job this season. It was always great to...
Wait, did you win this championship without winning a race, or wait?
Yes, sir.
You Austin Dillon, you son of a gun, you! Wow, I thought you didn't win this. Wow,
No,
good for you.
There was a quote that I put in there: consistent finish. And sometimes that is exactly what it takes. And Jason proved it here and throughout both seasons actually. But season B was his dominant force with 0 wins, but consistent finishes. Um, how was it out there? Were you a little nervous when you saw Brandon starting to scoot away from you a little bit? Because I know it was 5 points between you and Brandon coming into this race.
Yeah, on that last restart with about 20 to go or so, he broke the traffic before I did, and then I was just like, you don't want to be in bad air, you know? Bad air is not good, and so I was just trying to keep my left a little bit lower than the car in front of me to be as efficient as I could to get by him. There's a lot of grip down there on the yellow, so if you could hook up those tires on that yellow line, and you could really zip around and duck into the inside.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, it was just man. Again, everybody's so fast at every track, you know. So if you make a mistake and put yourself in a bad position, like I consistently did to myself all year, it really makes it hard. And without them, this wouldn't taste so sweet, you know.
Yes, sir. I absolutely agree with you. Like I said, all different levels of drivers and talented drivers that somewhat respect each other, but you guys all go in with a level head playing field throughout every week. But you guys kicked ass all season, that's for sure. But anyway, sir, awesome job on the championship lockup, as you call yourself, Mr. Matt Crafton. So we'll go ahead and stick with that. But any final thoughts, shout outs you want to give before we let you go and celebrate that championship?
Yeah. First, shout out to Black Flag Motorsports Shop. Um, Dylan Kreitz, Sean O'Brien, and Bobby Anderson. They're just the best dudes, and I don't do these kind of things without them. So I appreciate them first and foremost, and then you guys who broadcast the show every week. I love watching it back, and just it's a fun watch, and it's I love it. And then to the admins of the league, they put on a great league, and it's getting harder and harder, and that just means the racing is getting better. We need to figure out a couple of things, but I think overall we're looking good for the future, and I cannot wait to defend my title next season.
Yes, sir. I agree with you. It's getting tougher and tougher, but racing's been great. Well, I guess I'm going to have to start listening to another brick in the wall then. Maybe I can go up there and start winning some races. By the way, great band corn. So, anyway, buddy, awesome job. I'll get you out of here in case you got to handle a few things. But awesome job on the win. And hopefully we'll be looking forward to coming back. I know you guys have polls out there, so it's really has been an honor for me and Will to be here to do this for you guys, to give you guys something to fall back on. So, wish you the best of luck going into next season, and hopefully we'll be back and talking to you again.
All right, thank you.
No problem, buddy. Anyway, well, that is going to wrap it up here tonight. What an outstanding race, I would say, and I will have to agree with you. One of the better Phoenix races that we have called, and I'm sure you've called a lot of them over the time being
Yes.
with me and over there in SRU. So, but I would agree with you. This is one of the better Phoenix races that we have called and you have called yourself. So, outstanding, I would say.
Outstanding, and what a way to end the AMS Cup Series season for 2024. Whether at the moment, whether they're going to do a winter season or shebang, or like Brian said, they still have polls up in the air. So anyway, wonderful time for me and Brian to be able to call this series, this league, for this past year, pretty much since we have been able to, since Avery came to us and said, hey, we'd like you to do it. We appreciate it, and hopefully we get to do it some more. Until then, until tomorrow evening, being our truck series action kicks off Tuesday. Same, yeah, Dover Downs, Delaware, Dover, Delaware. So let's see who all Monster Miles spits out, and who all he lets get the trophy. Anyway, that'll do it for us here tonight. Thanks to all the competitors coming out and putting on this fabulous show. And thank you for coming out, tuning in, being a part as well. We want to wish you all a wonderful and safe good night.
And much love to the AMS group. They're phenomenal.
Oh,
Without-
and
Oh, go ahead. Happy Veterans Day. To all
happy
the vets
Veterans Day.
who were watching
Thank
and
you.
tuning in. You guys have a
Yes,
good night.
thank you.